Time for a delicious pizza recipe featuring succulent, juicy pieces of marinated lamb. Let's make my Moroccan lamb pizza on the One Pot Chef. First things first, into a little bowl, I've got 2 teaspoons of Moroccan seasoning. Now, Moroccan seasoning is just a spice mix. You can get it from the same section of the supermarket as dried spices and herbs. Now, it's got a wonderful combination of flavours. It's got things like paprika, turmeric, rosemary, coriander, garlic, onion, all sorts of great flavours in there. Now, to the mixture there, I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And just mix that together until combined. Next, I've got 300 grams of lamb, which I've just sliced up into little pieces. And what we're going to do is just pour that olive oil spice mixture over the top. And just using clean hands, we're just going to mix all that together so all the meat gets covered. Beautiful. Now just set that aside while we work on our other ingredients. Next, into a fry pan over medium heat, I've got a little bit of olive oil, and to that I'm going to add in 200 grams of sweet potato. And all I've done is just cut that into little strips, like so. And we're just going to cook this for a couple of minutes or until the sweet potato has gone nice and tender. That's looking good, so we can just transfer this into a bowl and set it aside for a moment. Next, we're going to cook the lamb in batches. We're just going to cook it for about a minute each side. We don't need to cook it all the way through because that will finish cooking in the oven when it's on the pizza. We just want to get a bit of colour on it. Once the lamb is browned, you can just set this aside while we work on our dough. I'm making my very simple pizza dough today, and this is probably the easiest pizza dough you'll ever make. Into a bowl, I've got 1.5 cups of self-raising flour. Now, if you can't get self-raising flour where you live, you can just use regular all-purpose flour and add in 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Now, I'm also just going to quickly season this with a little bit of salt. And to that, we're going to add in our secret ingredient, which is 1 cup, about 250 grams of natural yogurt. This is plain, unsweetened yogurt. You could also use Greek-style yogurt, but whichever kind you use, this is great because you don't need to add any yeast for this one, and which means you don't have to wait for the dough to rise. Now, just using a round-bladed knife, like a butter knife, what we're going to do is make cutting motions through the mixture like so until the dough comes together. Now, why we're doing this with a knife is very simple. If you just stir this with a spoon, the mixture gets stuck to the spoon and it becomes a big mess. But with the cutting motion method, you get air into the mixture and everything comes together without sticking to the knife. So just keep making those cutting motions until everything comes together. If the dough seems a bit sticky, just add a little bit more flour, a tablespoon at a time, and keep mixing it until the dough is nice and soft but not sticky. That's just about perfect. Look at that. Excellent. I've just put a little bit of flour on the counter, and we're just going to knead this dough for a couple of minutes or until the dough becomes nice and elastic. Using a rolling pin, just roll the dough out until you get a nice big circle. Now all you have to do is assemble our pizza. Start with your favourite pizza sauce, some baby spinach, our sweet potato, our seasoned lamb, half a cup of grated cheddar cheese, and a generous handful of shaved Parmesan cheese on top. And our pizza is ready to go into the oven. Preheated oven, 200 degrees Celsius, 400 degrees Fahrenheit, for about 15 to 20 minutes, or until the dough is cooked all the way through and everything is bubbling and golden and gorgeous. And here we have our completed Moroccan lamb pizza, looking absolutely stunning. The smell from the Moroccan spice mix is just filling the kitchen. You've got those succulent, juicy pieces of lamb, the tender sweet potato. Trust me, you are going to love this. That is looking good. Time for me to have a taste. I'm using a knife and fork today because it makes it that much easier to eat on camera when it comes to things like this. Oh my. That lamb is just gorgeous. The meat is juicy and tender and full of flavour thanks to those beautiful Moroccan spices. And of course, the dough there is beautiful pizza base. It's soft and fluffy with a bit of a crunch on the outside. And it's a wonderful combination of flavours. Trust me, you will absolutely adore this. Well, I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Check out my other videos at onepotchefshow.com. And until next time, see you later. Of course, you don't need to use lamb for this recipe. You could easily use some beef or chicken. You can use the same spice mix. You can change up the vegetables in the pizza. You can do so many different things with this. And of course, this pizza dough can be used for pretty much any kind of pizza you can think of. It's really simple, really quick, and it's very, very nice.